Alright, so as always, greetings from Pennsylvania. It is a lovely Monday afternoon. What is today? April 5th, about 2:30. Just got done getting a bunch of schoolwork done, grading homework and things like that. You know, that's the thing about, because most of you know I am a teacher. I teach part-time, work with homeschoolers. Most of you know that. Teach on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but even on days, you know, some of those days, that doesn't mean I have all those other days off. I still have to do school teaching stuff on some other days. I have to find a day to grade homework and do other things, and today was one of those days. So anyway, that's the way it is. But anyway, we're gonna enjoy the rest of this afternoon, go on a little bit of a hike here. I'm at the Texter Mountain Nature Preserve here in northern Lancaster County, and I was here a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago or so. It's a nice little, what they call a lollipop hike. You kind of go in, make a loop, and then hike back out the way you came in. So, a couple of cars here, so we'll see. Anyway, just gonna enjoy the rest of my day. And as usual, I forget how many miles this little hike is. I'll put it down here below. But as with a lot of these hikes, I'm not overly concerned about how many miles it is. I'm just out here to enjoy myself. You know, however long it takes me, that's what it takes me. Yeah, speaking of teaching too, I might share a nasty little comment I got this morning. I don't usually share the nasty stuff, but this one kind of hit a nerve this morning, you know, on the subject of teaching. I might share that with you later, or maybe I'll forget about it too, but yeah. Some people. All right, let's forget about that for now. And yeah, we are gonna look for, because we were at French Creek the other day and we found some wildflowers and other signs of spring, so we're gonna be looking for that too. Beautiful time of year. All right, let's quit and get hiking this trail. I'll probably find a little spot somewhere to take a break, have some snacks. Yeah, and speaking of wildflowers, I mean, check it out, just off the trail here. We saw these the other day at French Creek. The bloodroot. They're blooming out here too. This is their time of year. White petals and those yellow anthers. It's a powerful medicinal plant as well. They're kind of popping up all over the place here. You can see them scattered about. Just starting to bloom. Alright, I want to show you another wildflower. It's not blooming yet. You see these leaves down here, kind of like a spotted, mottled look to them. This is Trout Lily. They're not blooming yet, but they will soon have yellow flowers cut up. Like you can see, this plant, it kind of grows all over the place in here. I just don't see, maybe in another week they'll start blooming. But those are beautiful ones too, but they're up at least. Those leaves are quite distinctive. Alright. Yeah, there's bloodroot growing everywhere out here. You can see white flowers, even on this side of the trail. I have to call this the bloodroot trail. Oh, we got some purple stuff up here. Oh, it's Hepatica. Awesome. I get excited about wildflowers. We were talking about this the other day at French Creek State Park. We were looking for Hepatica. Here it is. Look at those beautiful, absolutely beautiful flowers. Yeah, that is Hepatica. Yeah, and this particular kind is called round-lobed Hepatica because the leaves have round lobes on them. Of course, Hepatica means referring to the liver. Livers have 3 lobes. So this is often thought to be have healing properties for the liver. But yeah, but here it is growing right next to the bloodroot. There's one there and some growing up there. So I'll try to get a few more close-up shots. Yeah, so I just love the color of Hepatica. Beautiful flower. Sometimes they're slightly more bluish or even slightly more white. This is that purple, that beautiful violet color to it. Alright. Oh, that made my day. Yes, I was just down there taking a few pictures with my phone, you know, for Instagram and Patreon. Like I said, I'm trying to do more of that, but I looked up, and I gotta forget I have my phone sitting there, but man, there's Hepatica everywhere up there. Look at all that purple up in there. Tons of it up in there, but yeah, it's growing everywhere. Check out that cluster right there. It's like a super cluster with beautiful violet colored Hepatica. I don't think I've ever seen so much in one spot. Yeah, it's growing. I don't know if you can see it all, but yeah, it's up. See whole clusters of it. There's some bloodroot, I see a whole cluster of it up in there. Alright, beautiful Hepatica. I gotta get my phone. Where's my phone? Alright, I'm gonna take a few more pictures. Yes, already that made my day right there, seeing the Hepatica. Doesn't take much sometimes to make me happy. But yeah, that takes away that nasty comment I got this morning and everything. And a lot of times when I find it, I only find like a cluster or two, but it's all over the place back there, huge clusters. I don't think I've ever seen so much Hepatica in one spot. Like I said, when we were at French Creek State Park, in my previous video, we were looking for it. We found bloodroot there, but a lot of times where you find bloodroot, you also find Hepatica. They tend to grow in the same areas. So that's cool to see so much of it. That's why these nature preserves are so important. Alright, let's keep going, see what else we find out here. And on the farm I grew up on the east side of the orchard, kind of going down a hill, kind of like this behind me, there was a little bit of bloodroot and Hepatica growing. I remember that. And I used to like to draw. I still do sometimes with colored pencils and stuff. Not terribly bad at it, but not quite as creative as, well, like I showed you that painting that Grace made. I can't do stuff like that, but yeah, but I tried to make like little field guides when I was younger of the wildflowers. And I remember sitting down there with paper and colored pencils and drawing the Hepatica. I have no idea where that drawing is. It probably doesn't exist anymore. That was many moons ago, but I remember that. Probably was kind of like on a nice spring day like this that I did it. Alright, so down here at the bottom of the hill is where the trail will split off. One section will go that way, one will go that way, and they'll end up making a loop. And this trail is blazed a little bit differently than some I've showed you. They make these like horizontal marks for when the trail turns. You know, 2 slashes that way mean the trail is going that way, and then up top there's 2 slashes going this way, which mean the trail also goes this way. And they have it same down at the bottom here on these other 2 trees. Right in front of us there. So I think we're gonna go to the left first. But then further down they just have the single blaze marks. A little bit different than like how the Appalachian Trail blazes trails. And you do need to be careful here just a little bit. There are several other trails that branch off, but they're not blazed with the blue marks. The blue blaze trail is the main trail. I know I passed another spot further back where a trail went off to the right, but it was not blazed with the blue marks. Most of those trails, from looking at the map, are just dead-end trails. I mean, you're welcome to take them if you want, but if you want to stay on the main loop trail, just stick to the blue blaze marks. Alright, well, another little surprise. I found some more wildflowers, because at first I thought, here's some more bloodroot. These, I thought these look like little baby bloodroots, but wait a second, no, they're not. This is called a rue, R-U-E. Beautiful. I think this is rue anemone is what the name is. There's different types of these anemones. There's a wood anemone, a false rue anemone, but I think this is the rue anemone, if I'm saying that correctly. Beautiful little white flowers though. Nodding in the wind. Yes, I wasn't expecting to see them. I mean, they usually in another week or so they start blooming, but on this south-facing slope though, I guess they came out a little bit early. There they are. That's our third wildflower for today. Well, blooming wildflower. I showed you the trout lilies, but they're not blooming yet. But maybe there's some. I mean, we're going down to a little valley here, so maybe there'll be some blooming trout lilies down there. That would be awesome, but we'll see. All right. There's also these little blue butterflies flying around, little tiny things. I think they're called azures. I'll put it down there, but they don't sit still for the camera. So maybe we'll get lucky. And we got a beautiful little stream that we'll be crossing and a little bit down there as the trail kind of loops around that way. We'll have to cross that twice. So when we get some nice little mini waterfall effects later. Might take my little late lunch break there. I already had main lunch, but we'll call it second lunch. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, so I got one of those little butterflies right in the middle of the screen. Can't zoom in anymore on it. Nope. And you can only really see the blue when they open their wings. Trying to hold the camera steady. Yeah. Right there he is. Oh, you can open him up a little bit, the wind. Doesn't look like it. Alright, so I just came upon this really green area. And I looked over there on that sunny little hillside, and we have found wildflower number 4. Another one that I was not expecting to see this early in the season. It's also white. But this is called Spring Beauty. Right here they are. You can zoom in on it. Make sure my shadow is not in there. Yeah, but those are called Spring Beauty. They have little white petals with the pinkish colored anthers. So you can get a little closer to them. Oops. Yeah. They usually bloom a little bit later too, but here they are. Here's another view. We can see the pink anthers on the inside. The anthers are the male part of the flower where the pollen is. Whoops, that's not working. There we go. Sometimes the petals have little pink stripes in them, but sometimes they're all white like this too. And the leaves on these look almost like little blades of grass. Alright, Spring Beauty. Alright, just past those Spring Beauties, the trail does turn, and it looks like it does go on that way. There's a trail that goes on that way, but I think there's private property not too far up that way, so it's a dead-end trail. But notice that tree right there has 2 blue blazes on it, 2 slash marks right in front of us, and they're slashed this way, so that means the trail goes down this way. Otherwise you end up going the other one and having to turn back. And down here's our stream crossing. And I'm getting a little hungry, so maybe a little snack spot too. And check it out, we got skunk cabbage out here too. Of course, in my last video at Fred's Creek, I showed you the skunk cabbage. We talked about that a little bit, so I'm not going to go over all that again. Kind of swampy here, but yeah, big leafy things. This is just a swampy area. This is not the main stream. Yeah, there you can see more skunk cabbage. Alright, hear that stream getting closer. Well, the stream isn't getting closer, we're getting closer to it. Here we go. And I think I see a nice log right there to sit on. We gotta get across first. Well, I was gonna sit and eat right there, but someone has a trail cam set up right there, so I don't want to be in. I mean, I already am from crossing the creek, but I don't need to be in someone's trail cameras to eat lunch, eat some snacks. So we're gonna find another location for that. Oh, there's a neat little mini waterfall. Let's zoom in on that. Alright, well, I'm a bit out of breath. The trail brought us like straight up out of that little valley. But I think right there is a suitable spot for some snacks. Alright, so we got a nice view. You can hear the stream down there, but now it's time to dig in a little bit here. See what we got. Oh, it's kind of interesting. Nutri-Grain bars. Another one of these nut butter bars. I shared one of those with you at French Creek. That was good. That was a gift from somebody. As well as these. These are pretty good. The little cheese and cracker snacks. Oh, this thing right here. The Cliff Bar. The Cool Mint Chocolate. These are really good, actually. Oh, these are good too. The Nature Valley Peanut Butter Biscuits. Chocolate and peanut butter. And the Snickers bar in there. I'm not gonna eat all of it. Might go for this actually. I should feel like eating these too. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm all snacked up. If you're wondering what I had, the Nutri-Grain bar, the cheese and crackers, and the peanut butter biscuit thing is what I had. So ready to keep going. But yeah, I got a pretty nasty comment this morning. I usually don't share the negativities of YouTube. There are quite a few sometimes. I just try to keep things a little more positive on this channel, but I'm gonna share it because it's something that's you can learn. It's something that's important considering what's going on in today's world. It's just kind of the reason the way things are the way they are. But how do you start out? I'm gonna be paraphrasing. I didn't read the whole thing. I just kind of deleted it. But he's like, "You seem like an okay guy until I discovered you're a teacher." You know, he started talking about how teachers aren't working anymore, they're all at home, not teaching anymore, but they're still getting paid with taxpayer money, and how we're, I don't know, he was using all these big words like reprehensible, or I'm not sure what words he used, but it's like, okay dude, you know, big capital letters and everything, just kind of going off on me. I was like, okay. So, yeah, and I didn't reply. Those kind of people you can't reason with. There is no reason with them. Even if you try, they're not on there to be reasoned with. That's just, I think you know what kind of people I'm talking about there. Many of you know that I am a teacher and that I work with homeschool students. They kind of meet at co-ops one day a week. I work at 2 of them. It's kind of like they go to school one day a week, and then the rest of the week they kind of work on their own at home. It works out pretty well for some kids. So I am self-employed, so I'm not getting, you know, taxpayer money, so his whole thing is pointless. But even for those teachers that are at home, like in my area, most of the teachers are back in school, in class, but sorry, catch my breath coming uphill there a little bit, but even for those teachers that are at home, they're still teaching. They're working like they're doing those Zoom things, and they're doing what they can to stay in contact with the kids. It's not easy. Trust me, I've listened to some of them talk. It's very frustrating. They're doing the best they can. And for a lot of them, it's not their choice, whether they're in class or at home. Maybe some of them do have a choice, but a lot of them don't. I mean, regardless of what they would do personally, it's not their choice. It's the people in charge of the school district or powers that be, the local government, state government, whoever. So to go off on people like that who don't really have a choice is just wrong, or people that are doing the best they can considering the situation we're in. It's just, I don't know. Those kind of people that are like that guy in the comment, they're the ones that make times like this all the more difficult. I feel like, why should I say I believe that the vast majority of us don't really care about these issues that divide us. It's just people that are on the far ends of both spectrum. I think you know what I'm talking about. Certain terminology I want to avoid, but I think the majority of us don't really care or about those. I mean, we might care about those issues, but we're not as divided as some people want to make it be. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying. But yeah, people like that, they're the ones that are trying to, I feel like, create trouble and divide us even more. Just anyway. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't be a jerk in life. You know, learn to, instead of just criticizing people, you know, maybe try to understand their side of the story, what's going on in their life. It might help you understand why they're doing what they're doing. I think that's a big issue sometimes. We're too quick to judge people, to criticize people without actually finding out what their story is, you know. And you can respectfully disagree with people too. Anyway, enough of that lesson. I'm starting to teach to you guys. But anyway, all right, let's get back to nature and looking for wildflowers and stuff. I'm kind of on the back end of that loop again. I came up that steep hill, but now I'm going to have to go back down it soon to cross the creek again. All right, stay positive. And we got our second stream crossing and our second trail cam right down there. So someone's watching folks out here. All right, well, let's get across. We'll go across together here. You can see my shadow. Well, and up the hill. And then we're back at the main trail junction. This is where we came down at the start. Back up there is where all those bloodroot and the beautiful Hepatica were blooming. And we came down here and we went down that way. And did a nice little loop, and now we're coming back up here again. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because the way back we've already hiked on. I mean, you know, it's like something cool might show up, and if it does, I'll film that and throw it in before this outro. But yeah, beautiful day. I didn't know if I was going to be able to come out to hike today because some of these days when I do schoolwork, you know, it depends on when I'm finished with it and how much time is left. But we had some time, so we came out. I'm glad I did. Just kind of picked this place, and I'm glad I did because we found all the Hepatica. I love those flowers. All right, as always, thanks for coming along. Don't be a jerk, and I'll see you around.